Alright, well, I'm gonna do a list of my favorite zombies maps from worst to best. First of all, before I start this list, I want to mention that I'm going to exclude Ascension and Shangri-La. Yeah, Shangri-La. Because I have not played those. I thought about getting Ascension, or even Shangri-La, maybe. I don't know about Shangri-La, but I'm sure they're decent maps. They seem like they could be okay, or at least better than some of these other ones I'm about to mention. Alright, well, getting onto the list. First map on my list that I consider to be the worst is Shi No Numa. It's a swamp. It's not even like that they don't like provide you with enough stuff. It's just like the whole setup of it is just really badly made. It's like a giant circle in the middle. Like you can't really train in there. And then like little like narrow pathways branching off. Like I feel like that just wouldn't work. It just seems like a bad navigational map. The next on my list is Moon. Uh yeah, I chose this because partly because it's just too much going on at once. For one, you run into this astronaut right from the start, and he's really annoying to try to kill. But also, like, they don't provide you well with weapons, is the thing. You don't get to the box until much later. And you're basically stuck with wall weapons for a good 5 rounds. And, and like, trying to get around there is just so challenging, too. Like, I just can't, like, comprehend what to do in there. And I don't know why they have that beginning thing either with where the dogs chase you at the beginning. Like it just seems unnecessary. But that's why it's on the bottom of my list. Well, next on my list is Die Rise. Die Rise, it's an okay map. I mean, you can kind of like get decent weapons, but I mean, it's not horrible because you got some decent wall weapons you can buy, like more than just the freaking M14 and Olympia at least. That's what Moon has. That's all Moon has for a good amount of time is M14 and Olympia. That sucks. But you can get like the PDW and the SVU here. But I mean, even that's not that great because you can't get the box for a while. The box that's what you need. You don't run into that until like the middle. But besides that, like it's also a really hard map to like just understand. It's just, in my opinion, it's too big. Like by the time you actually like get to every part of the map, you're like, wait, where do I go now? You're just kind of like guessing almost. And I really don't like those I don't even know what they are. They're not like dogs, but they replace the dogs. They're like the monkeys or whatever they are. Crawler things. I don't like those. To me they're too easy to die from, unless you have like a trampoline. But then you have to like go through the trouble of building that too. Like having to like build stuff. It just like it makes it like, well, not necessarily if you only have to build like a couple things, but there's also like quite a lot of things that you have to build as well, like the power and other stuff like that like helps you. And to me that just like takes away from the game because like I don't know, it doesn't like help you, or it makes it harder for you to like focus on the zombies. Anyways, number 4 on my list would be 5. Okay, this isn't just because didn't make it that far. It's also because the concept of the teleporters, it just doesn't work. Trying to like teleport in between would just get so messy that it wouldn't even like it would just get so confusing after a while. Like 1 minute you're in one place and there's zombies coming at you, then you teleport to another place, there's still zombies coming at you. You're just like guessing randomly. Like, no, can't do that. And like whatever the hell that thing is, I think it's like JFK. I don't know. I haven't like played that a whole lot, but that thing is really annoying too. I think he's way too hard to kill. Like, doesn't he need like a crap ton of bullets put into him? I think. Anyways, yeah, that's why that's on my list for that one. Number 5. Number 5, I'm gonna have to give it to Nuketown. I know it seems almost like I'm mentioning this like too early on my list, but the reason why I do this is because the map is just not an ideal training place. Like, some might say, oh, you could go in the backyard, you can train over there. But that's like tricky because you have to really like have like a special method for it, And I don't know, the idea of the drops coming at certain times, it's kind of makes it a little too difficult, in my opinion. Maybe it could be lower. I mean, better than some of these other ones that I'm about to mention, but that's just kind of where it fell for me. I'm just not a huge fan of it anyways. Also, that's also part of my reason why I don't like it. Anyways, number 6 on my list. This map actually isn't bad, but it's one of those notorious maps that you just can't get that far on it in general, no matter what you do. It's Verrect. Interesting thing about this is there's actually one method that you can do that can actually get you kind of far, so that's kind of cool. If you use like the electric traps and get some good weapons, there's also some good training you can do, but it's kind of limited. It's just one of those maps. It was early in the zombies development. They didn't. It was very limited. I wish they'd made the map bigger. That might have helped. But it's an alright. If they had Pack-a-Punch, that would really help too, though, in my opinion. But number 7, this is the other map that's also kind of limited. First ever map. I don't want to diss it that much because it's the original zombies. It's Notch Town. I think it's decent if you want to like camp. Personally, that's my method. But I mean, I guess you could continue on from before about Notched. Yeah, I mean, you can train on it a good amount, but the thing is, you would have to get. It's kind of hard to train without perks, because like if you're able to get like Jug, that would make it like a lot better. But like you can camp. If you do it like a friend, you could get kind of far. That's about it for that. But I put this one higher than others because I just respect it as a map. It's where it all started. It was a classic, and I like the weapons that they put in it. And the Black Ops 1 adaptation is kind of cool because they did put the Thunder Gun in that, I believe, and a bunch of other good weapons too. So I did like that. But continuing on from that, my next one on the list is Farm on Black Ops 2. I don't mind this map because there's actually a decent amount of training areas you could do, and plus it has perks. The only problem is it doesn't have a pack-a-punch machine. Um, that's always something you want, but I mean, you could kind of live without it because you know you could just keep refilling on it ammo for certain weapons. Yeah. One problem I do see is the box location. That's a little tough to get to. You kind of have to like wait till the end of the round if you really want to like get a weapon. But yeah, it's a decent map though. Number 9 on my list is Bus Depot. Okay, so some of you guys, some might think, oh, why are you putting Bus Depot like number 9? Like, isn't that like a horrible map? Okay, here's the thing. It it may seem like a horrible map, but if you take it from a certain perspective, it's actually not that bad because it can be fun to have like a challenge. Like, there's no perks or a pack punch machine, but that's what makes it a challenge. And like, some people might want to like have fun in that way by having a challenge. So I think it's cool in that way, but it's not. It doesn't make it like a great map, but it makes it like an okay map. So I don't mind that idea. Of just trying to train, see how long you last. Or and if you don't have much time with the friends, if you only have like an hour left or whatever, you could just do that. It doesn't last long a lot of the time. So it's not a bad idea. Right after that is the map that is like the same kind of thing. It's Transit. Transit, I like the concept of like traveling on a bus because you have like a variety of locations. I mean, as long as you don't fall off, and that sucks. But if you fall off the bus, that sucks. But don't do the teleporter or stuff like that. That just gets way too complicated. But I think it's a fun map to try to like travel around, see how far you get. But the only problem is it does have a pack-a-punch machine and everything. But the problem with all that stuff is there's such a complicated process to like getting all of that stuff that it just kind of takes the fun away from it. And I think that makes it like almost too like overwhelming to have to like do all that stuff. And I just wish they like made it a little easier. But the other thing that's kind of annoying that I wasn't a huge fan of is the fact that this electric man was like really hard to kill. And I think if they honestly just took him out of there completely, I would not have minded at all. He's just, when he comes, he's just really annoying, and I think he's just unnecessary to have him there. So that's my opinion. For number 11, a lot of people I know think this is a bad map, but I personally like it. It's got a different setup. It's the Dead Ops arcade. You can get it from entering this code on Black Ops 1. But I think it's kind of cool because it may be unrealistic, but you're kind of just going crazy in an all-out like battle in the center, just killing as many zombies as you can. But then you get all these cool power-ups. I mean, it may be very unrealistic, but in that way, I think it's kind of fun because you have like rocket launchers and rapid-fire rocket launchers and rapid-fire ray guns, and then you get like tanks, helicopters, and then like for that you get multiple lives. I think it's just cool, like that idea of like that fast-paced zombie killing, but then you also get good lives. In my opinion, it's a cool idea, but it's not for everyone. So I respect if some people think it's not good. Anyways, number 12 on my list is Origins. Okay, the newest installment of Black Ops 2. Everyone was anticipating it so much, and everyone kept playing it so much. But in all reality, it's it's just too hard. Like it's just it's fun and all, but the only thing that there's only really one thing that makes it hard though, and that's the Panzer, the mech, or yeah, the Panzer or the mech, whatever you want to call him. But he's just really hard to kill, and he really gets in the way of stuff. And the thing that also goes along with that makes it hard is when the generators are going down and you have like two things to worry about at once, that gets really annoying. And also, like, this is especially can get really annoying in the early rounds, because a lot of times I notice like you'll tend to go down in the early rounds. Like for me, early rounds is like round 12 or 14, but you know it's just like frustrating because the mech poses a hard challenge at that point, because you don't have like you might not have the greatest weapons, you might not have like quite all your perks yet or certain stuff. So, or like you might have kept going down. It's just very tedious trying to like battle off the mech, and then like while killing all the other zombies at the same time, or stopping the generator. I mean, trying to upgrade your staff is also a complicated process in itself. I don't think that's that bad, but that also adds more difficulty to it with all the stuff you have to do in that too. I mean, you can kind of do that at the end of the round though, but still, it almost adds like too much to the whole map in general. But definitely would not recommend upgrading every staff. That just takes forever, unless you have four people who know how to do it like perfectly. Yeah, and after saying that, definitely don't do the Easter egg. That's even worse. Anyways, continuing on. Number 13 on the list is Call of the Dead. Call of the Dead, in my opinion, it used to be a big hype for me. It's a solid map. It can get a little old after a while, but in my opinion, I think it's a decently well made map. It poses a significant challenge, but at the same time, I thought it's really fun to see how far you can get. Because, first of all, I want to mention George. The idea of having him isn't the worst thing, because the thing that he does is he only just walks around. Like, that's not that bad. If you wanted to, you could just avoid him the whole time, as long as you don't get near him. So like, that makes it easier. But like, once you have the map down, in my opinion, it's not that bad. But you just gotta like find the right training spots. But I think there's some decent training spots where, you know, um, like down below from the lighthouse, um, in the spawn area. Um, but I think it's a really fun map because you get to. There's not too much complexity to it. You just get your perks and pack punch your weapon. That's pretty much it. But like, I really like the setting of the map. The idea of it being in like a winter setting with all like foggy and different stuff like that. I like that whole concept. I think they did well on that. I didn't make it far on this map, but I'd say it's still a good map. I mean, far. I made it to round 28. Okay, that's actually I made it to round 30, but I mean, for me, that's like okay. But regardless of that, it's still a decent map. But it's still not as good as these others, and this is why it's at this spot, number 13. All right. Well, for number 14, this is a notorious map that I've always been known to play. I love it. It pretty much never gets old. It's it's very addictive. I love the story. Um, it's well made. Um, I definitely only recommend it on solo player more. It's Mob of the Dead. So for this map, for this map, what was I gonna say? Um, Mob of the Dead. For this map, I think it's cool that they give you like three afterlives, so you don't have to like worry about quick revive. But I like that idea. You know, like you get another chance. You know, and if you survive that round, you get like rewarded for it by getting another afterlife. And like, I think that's more like a better approach by being that generous. You know, they give you three afterlives, but like, it's also like not too easy either. Like, you know, you have to like get your perks back, but like, if you get a method down, there's like a really good way to like, you know, go around the whole map and just do your thing. And like, honestly, like that map has some of the best weapons ever. You know, the Blundergat upgraded and the Raygun Mark II is like really awesome. I think those are definitely up there in the best weapons list of all time. And if you get both of those, that's really good. And I really like the setup to it. You know, like with the roof, and that's a good training spot. And if you need to, you can just hop on the plane, grab all the parts. So I think it works out well. And I think they made the right choice, not making Brutus too hard to kill. Um, you know, he's nothing like the Panzer. He makes the Panzer look like a freaking god, like something that's like impossible to kill. Like Brutus is honestly not that bad at all, but he makes it interesting because you got to watch out for him like taking out the box and different like power ups. But all in all, I think it comes together pretty well as a map overall. So that's where that map is on my list. Next one, getting down to the nitty gritty. All right. Next one on my list is Buried. This map is very well fabricated. Personally, in my opinion, the two maps after this don't really have a story. So, in my opinion, this is the best story. You know, they get lost in a city and, or, well, like an ancient town, I guess. And gets them back in time. And you have like this witch's castle that you have to go to pack a bunch of your weapon. And I just like the idea of it. And in my opinion, they have, some might consider it the most overpowered weapon, but the paralyzer is really good. If you get that and you get Vulture Aid, you can pwn and have a great time with it. And I think it's really good to do that. And I also like the whole like open map setup. You know, it's not too like narrow. Like maybe in like a couple areas, like where Jug is and like up ahead from there. But other than that, I'd say it's pretty solid. Um, After that, otherwise, Pack a Punch is interesting because you have to try to avoid the zombies when you're going through the maze, so that makes it interesting. But yeah, all in all, a good map, and if you know the map really well, you can. I think you definitely like it, and you could get pretty far. Um, the next one that I'm gonna mention, number 16 on my list, a classic. That's right, the original Black Ops 2, Town. Okay, this map might be kind of small, but the simplicity of it makes up for it so much. You know, you you have one method. Well, it's just so open anyways. You can do multiple methods. But in my opinion, the method that works is jumping off the ledge and then go into the other house, jumping off the ledge. But like it's very open and I like that. It makes it easier to, to not get like hit if you're trying to like go somewhere. I think that's always something that's key in a zombies map anyways, is how open it is. But and like all the perk locations are solid too. I mean, I don't have much to say about the story or anything or the setting, but the whole setup of the map is solid, and I think it's one of the best maps to like get far on. I definitely enjoy it myself. It's not the map I've gotten furthest on. The first I've gotten is on Buried 51, but I'd still say it's better than Buried because of its simplicity and the openness. But all right. Well, now we're down to my number one. All right, here we go. The number one map in all of Call of Duty Zombies history is Nuketown because it's it's where it started. It's where it really started getting going for Black Ops. For one thing, first of all, and number two, it has the thunder gun. That's an amazing weapon. And unlike five, five has multiple teleporters. That's just too confusing. But this one, it has one teleporter. So if you're in like an emergency and you need to like get out of a jam, you can just go to that teleporter, then throw some grenades or do whatever you need to do. Pack a bunch of weapon, you know, and then like once you get out, you can like keep running. It's at the same time, like I mentioned earlier, it's also very open. You can run around the whole map trying to like train them. Even if you don't have jug, just be cautious. When you lose your perks, it's not like the most challenging thing to try to get them back. So I think that's nice. And then like as far as like training methods go, well, I would not recommend camping. Well, no one should camp really, except for maybe in Varrox, because that's like your last resort. But like the training methods are really good. A lot of people say, "Oh, train on the stage." That works really well. But you know, training on the stage, it can be a little risky. So you gotta like get it down to an art. But Syndicate or other people, I don't know if any any uh any YouTubers that you watch would probably show you that that's the training method they use. It works really well. And the great thing about it is, even if you fail, you can just whip out the thunder gun and just blow them away. So I think that's also a nice advantage to have. But this map is a classic. It it has all the classic elements in it, and the thing that's different about Black Ops 1 from Black Ops 2 is you don't get as much ammo actually. I don't know if you might have not noticed, but when you run out of ammo, you're really just scouring for whatever you can find. But I think that makes it more intense and more fun. But you don't want like no challenge at all anyways. You know, it's cool to see, how you do. But then at the same time, it's not that hard to like run around. So I think it makes it fun. And like once you get everything back, you can just get a solid training method going and it works well. So that's why it's at my number one. Well, that does it for this list. And this concludes my video of zombie maps from worst to best. Okay, so there is actually a map I forgot to mention. So this map is Derice. It can be easy to mix up with Derice. It's not Derice. It's not Derice. It's Derice. But anyways, I'm sorry I forgot to put this map in, but for my ranking on it, I'd say it's a really good map. Um, it's kind of what really started it all, actually, for like big maps that had Pack a Punch, because this was on World at War, and that was big for that. But it had all the good stuff like Pack a Punch, your perks, and it had teleporters, just like Kino does. Um, but I wouldn't say it's as good as Kino, but if I had to rank it anywhere, I would rank it number 15 ahead of Mob of the Dead. So that would put Buried at 16, Origins, or I mean, not Origins, Town at 17, and Kino at 18. So that's how that is. So yeah. Um, yeah, I think it's a really good map though. Um, the teleporters can be a little difficult because there's three of them, but I'd only recommending using the one in the back and the one where like the beginning of the map, like where whatever it's called, where like the trench gun is. Um, what was I gonna say? Uh, it's a solid map though. So yeah, overall, number 16, number 15.